what are the common stresses you've had from people, and what's the impact of stress on our physiological?
I will put them as categories. There is the category of pre-existing mental health conditions before the lockdown, before the advent of corona, that have been exacerbated by the fear, related to corona, the anxiety, depression. Someone has a pre-existing trauma from before, and substance abuse issues. Family members are bringing that up. It's getting more and more problematic. And there is the other category of people that did not know that they had, that did not recognize. You know how in Africa we think that these things are for white people.
I know.
So people did not know that maybe it was possible for them to experience depression or anxiety, and now they are waking up to the idea, and it's a very confusing time, and some people don't know what is happening to them. So they need a lot of help and understanding how to navigate this sort of whole new world. The other category is the psychosocial issues that are related to being locked in place. Relationships are having quite a lot of strain, either because how people they feel like they are stuck in one small space together, so navigating the relationship becomes complicated. Sometimes existing issues with family relationships are being really, really emphasized. The other side of it is with people that unfortunately have not been able to get in the same physical space with their loved ones, so are. And then there is the idea that now a number of people are sitting down and reflecting on their lives, because you can only feed your time mind with so much. Inevitably, either before you fall asleep, you're going to think about, okay, what is my life all about, or what is my relationship all about, what's going to happen to my job, and those reflections, unfortunately, for some people, are causing a number of uncomfortable thoughts. So those are the categories that I can pick out.
Initially, previously I was talking to someone, and I told him that the extroverts are now being forced to become introverts, and everything is becoming very hard for them. The next question is from Gloria, and she's asking about anxiety, what it is, the causes and the effects.
That's a question that normally takes me 45 hours, a full semester to answer, but let's hit the highlights. Anxiety comes from one's perception of a situation. If you perceive a situation as threatening to you, then you are going to get scared. You're going to have fears about it. And really that's what anxiety is about, fear. Okay? And the thoughts and the scary thoughts about the situation. So again, as per that brief definition, what causes it is your perception of the situation. The situation in reality may not be life-threatening or to your future or to your career. But if you perceive it as so, if you see it as threatening, then you're going to get anxious. On the other hand, someone might actually be going through a life-threatening situation, but because they, either with help or personal characteristics, or for one reason or another, if they do not see it as threatening, if they feel there is a way out, they may not suffer from as much anxiety. So again, as per the definition, one of the ways to deal with anxiety is to deal with the way you think about a situation.
Okay.
I have had conversations with people about the way they see, for example, this corona situation.
Yeah.
Do you see it as something are there things that are in your control? And if they do not see things that are in their control, it has been a bit helpful to give examples of things that people can do that do not need another person, that do not need money.
Yeah.
For example, if you're going to stand in the sun and get vitamin D, and that is going to help your mood. If you are going to exercise, if you're going to reach out to your loved ones, if you are going to follow the Ministry of Health guidelines, that gives someone back a sense of control.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And help to reduce their anxiety. And another thing that some people have done really well in some of the conversations that we have had is to think back to situations in the past where you come out of it, one. Two, you actually grew in that situation. So having those kind of conversations have helped people to think differently about a situation and therefore to start to reduce the anxiety. When you talk about it, it sounds simplistic, but that's the basis upon which all these other skills come in as therapists.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, you've actually covered how to also deal with anxiety, you know, in what you're answering to Gloria's, when you're answering Gloria's question. So in short, what you said is the best way someone can cope with anxiety during this corona period, whether you're confined or you're living alone, the best way is to find the things that you have control of.
Yes, and appreciate them.
Oh, and appreciate them.
Yes, and to question really the things that you do not have control over. We call it reality testing. What is the reality? You might have this fear that the disease is going to sweep over the whole nation and we are all going to die. Okay, and that can be really, really scary. Okay, but when you start to reality test, when you start to question that fear, you realize, okay, one, the disease does not move if we do not move it.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can interrupt that scary thought. And, you know, you think about, okay, what is the reality of this fear? And sometimes the fear is real and even with other people. But then we find another step. You know, you either change the situation or you change yourself. Feeling helpless is what causes problems.
Wow.
Yes.
Quite insightful. So we have Kayesu Claire here, and she's asking whether mood swings are linked to mental health.
Beg your pardon on that one?
We have Kayesu asking if mood swings are linked to mental health, and if so, how?
If what is linked to mental health? Sorry, we had a bit of distraction there.
Oh, sorry. If mood swings are linked to mental health.
Well, mood is an aspect of thinking mental health. So the short answer is yes. And let me give an example with depression.
Yeah.
A person that is living with depression, although they experience sadness all day, every day, for 2 weeks. That's the short form when I was in school that we would use to describe, you know,
that's really
someone getting the diagnosis of depression. They might feel slightly less weighed down